My name is Terrence Boylan with PacketLogix. We've had a lot of inquiries about how we install devices, whether they're wireless access points, racks, data centers, IDF, pulling cable at some of our clients' facilities. And so I figured I'd do a tour of the MoFo. Actually, a client named it the MoFo for Mobile Field Office. This is it. We've got a cell phone number on the side of the trailer, so that if somebody from security or facilities that's not familiar with the project ongoing wants to know what is this trailer doing here, they call the cell phone, they get an answer 24 hours a day. The entire trailer is outfitted with shore power, which means that we can plug into a client's site and get power that allows us to charge all of our devices, do all the lights, test equipment if we need to. We do have surge suppressors in here to give a little buffer of the electrical system. If that does not work, we have a power generator that we can just fire up and it powers the same thing. Over here we have all of our safety glasses, different kinds, because we use different kinds of safety glasses for different kinds of jobs. All different hardware that we use throughout the course of installing these devices. Some hard hats, the world's largest first aid kit that we have yet to use, a mechanical kit with ratchets, sockets, wrenches, what have you, two different kinds of vices for holding pipe tight, as well as metal fittings. Sometimes you have to modify a metal fitting to get it to do exactly what you want it to do. We have at least one crash cart in the MoFo now. We only have one crash cart, but we have one crash cart now. Sometimes we roll out with two, depending upon the size or the time that we have to install a job. And most jobs require two techs, so that one tech will be actually doing the installation, the other tech will be doing the documentation, the setting up the fittings, making and feeding that tech, so that things just kind of streamline, go along and along and along. We do standardize on the Milwaukee packout system, and that may seem like a small detail, but it allows us to very efficiently and quickly roll on site to a client's location and provide them the kind of service and support that we want to provide them in a very professional manner, and that's important to all of us. We roll with cordless vacuums, clean up as we go. Labeler, we label everything, all cables, power cables, everything gets labeled for documentation, which is part of our process. We document all of our installations, whether we'll be managing that system moving forward or we're turning it over to an enterprise IT team. Everything gets documented and ultimately gets turned over to the client for them to use however they see fit. We have some extra PPE, masks, hearing protection, gloves, and what have you. Our SDS book, so we're OSHA compliant with any of the chemicals on site. And over here is the materials we use to do our installs. We do have a color coding system. Blue is for data, yellow is for VoIP, orange is for wireless, and then there are a couple of others for smaller segmented devices. But we have, 6-inch to 14-inch cables here, as well as several boxes, several thousand feet of cable in the MoFo at all times. So if a job requires more than that, then obviously we have purchased that for the job. Each one of these kits is a kit that allows you to perform a given task. So if we're working on a rack, everything in this kit is what you need to mount a rack, whether it's anchor the rack to the concrete below, whether it's affix the rack to a rack ladder system, whether it's affix appliances inside the rack. Everything you need is right there. Everything for grounding, whether it be a rooftop antenna or a rack inside, is right here. All the fittings, all the cable, everything. Everything to weatherproof a connection outside is right here. We do model our weatherproofing operating procedure after the Navy. If we need to do fire stopping, we standardize on the Hilti fire stop system. That's what this kit is. We've got some fittings for EMT, liquid tight, different fittings for strut, fiber assemblies, as well as acoustic tile fittings. A lot of times the fittings that come with an access point from a manufacturer don't necessarily fit the exact environment that we're in, depending upon tiles and railing and that kind of thing. So we've built together a kit over the years that we have yet to find an install we can't do with. Different screws and other hardware, face plates, 1 to 6 port blank face plates, what have you. RJ46 coax term kit, a RJ45 termination kit, actually there's 2 of those, and RJ45 keystone kit And again, the keystones are color coordinated to the cabling, so that when somebody looks at it, they see orange, they know everything in this line is connected to an access point or a wireless device. It just helps troubleshooting down the line, because all networks need to be troubleshot. Here we have consumables like zip ties and paint and tape, that kind of stuff. Consumables, cleaning and PPE. We do like to roll on site with booties to keep our feet clean and keep the client's offices clean and free from dust. Extra hardware, tools, power tools, 2 Hilti vacuum concrete impact drills, other materials, some extra EMT. Over here we have more tools, tool belts, an assortment of different rack fittings like shelves and blank plates and perforated plates and rackable fans, things like that that sometimes get forgotten in the course of doing a build of material for a client, or the client forgets to ask for. So we have them here so that we can just get the job done quickly and professionally. This is also where, if we're running low on materials or there's an issue where we need a different tool or something, all that gets written down here. No little scraps of paper, no post-it notes just flying around, no scraps on no notes on a 2x4 and handed to somebody. Everything gets done here on the dry erase board. Everyone knows there is one place for all that. It's right here. And that level of communication greatly eases and speeds up our installs, because we do have a huddle every morning when we're on site. Down here we have tons of ladders. There's more ladders up above, longer ones, as well as cable running fish tapes and safety cones. And this is a mat that we put on the floor before we put a ladder on. If they've got, like we've done installs in gymnasiums where there's a parquet floor that just got varnished, we don't want to mess that up, so we put this down. It's soft and that cushions any of the feet on the ladder. And that's the MoFo. So I figured I'd give this little video to let people know how we do what we do, and that's it. Thanks.